Our next speakers are Gail Sunderberg Dowse and Jane Anderson. The title of their presentation is Handwork and Homelessness, Compassion, Collaboration, and Creativity. Gail is a native of Colorado, has lived in Longmont the past 48 years. She's married to Mark, John, Luther. No, I'm just kidding. She's married to Mark, the man of her dreams. Obviously, we never met. And they have 4 awesome children. She's the founder of Loops for Love, whose mission is to increase awareness about the homeless situation in Boulder County. Teaches knitting and felting through City of Longmont Recreation Services. Has a yarn shop called Wabi Sabi Farm Store in her home. She is an RN, worked 21 years at Longmont United Hospital. She is an RN, worked 21 years at Longmont, 21 years. She was later the director of education department. Currently works from home doing disease management for chronic conditions such as heart failure, COPD, asthma, diabetes, incontinence. No, I'm sorry, I added that one. Other interests in her life are Girl Scout leader, yoga, dog walking, bunny raising, and this is the one that my wife really loves. Disinterests, cleaning house. Her co-speaker, Jane Anderson, started out as a teen rock star Jane started Peace Knitters in May of 2010 with the goal of bringing peace to our community through creating handmade items for donation. So far, Peace Knitters has donated hats, scarves, mittens to the Good News Center, lap throws to the Sterling House of Longmont, hats for the kids of the Mountain States Children's Home. She and her group were thrilled to join forces with Loops for Love this winter to create 1,000 hats for the homeless. Jane is a certified herbalist, an adventurous knitter living in Longmont, and drug dealer? Why would you like that? Let's give them a warm welcome, and here they go. Thank you.
Well, the annual point in time survey, which is a survey of homelessness, was done a year ago in January 2011. And the data for our community, Boulder County, showed that there were about 1,800 homeless people where we live in our neighborhood. And in Longmont, the count was at 636, which is a lot of our neighbors. Why do these people become homeless? Usually it's loss of job and they can't find work after they lose it, and the high cost of housing where we live. These are some folks that came to a Christmas dinner down on Main Street Christmas Eve, and we distributed some of the hats that we made there at that event. 61% of the households in our community have children. These are families that have been living paycheck to paycheck, and then a crisis hits and they can't make it. So we were handing out bottled water and granola bars out of our car window to the homeless, and I said, we got to do more. So I love to knit, and I partnered with Jane here, and we set a goal of knitting 1,000 hats.
And part of our goal with this project was to tap into our own creative resources that each of us have within us, and use those resources to create a project for the homeless and create awareness around the homeless situation. This was a Handwork in Public event that we did in December. We thought it would be a fun way to be out in the community knitting and raise awareness about our cause, which was creating handmade items for the homeless.
So Girl Scouts and service, they go hand in hand, and this is the 100 years of Girl Scouts this year's celebration, so watch for that. The Girl Scouts made 45 fleece hats and scarves for the homeless, and on ribbons they would write notes of inspiration like stay warm. It was out of the mouths of babes, you know, the messages that they would give were priceless. And then the next meeting we had Chris and Michelle from Project Hope come and accept those hats and take those then to their Room at the Inn Christmas event along with other hats that had been donated.
This is a photo of some of the members of Peace Knitters, and like it was mentioned before, we've been around since May of 2010, and it's been a lot of fun these past few months working with Loops for Love and with Gail in collecting handmade items for the homeless, and it's just been a lot of fun.
And this is the group that was just formed in November. We started with 2 people. I'm sorry, it was formed in September. 2 people showed up at the first meeting. Woohoo! And we're up to 15. One of the members is a mom and her 9-year-old son, Owen, who is one of my knitting students, and they've been really excited. Brittany here on the right, she comes down from Fort Collins.
So this is our first yarn bombing, the Ben Franklin goose, which we had a lot of fun doing. And we wanted to experiment with yarn bombing, which is kind of, it's using colorful knitted and crocheted items to make a statement. And it was just a great way to experiment with that and getting our mission across. We've been really inspired by the people that have stepped forward and from our own groups and from the community and supported us and donated items. It's just been really fantastic. And here's our second yarn bombing, the Crackpot's Goose, and you see that it's adorned with a lovely hat and scarf. And as you'll see from some of these photos, we had to experiment with hat design. We did not realize that a goose's head is so big compared to the human's head. So you'll see an evolution in our hat design.
We made these tags to go on everything that we hung on the yarn bombs to attract attention and stimulate some interest in the community. So we hoped if somebody stopped to pause and read the tag, they might be interested in getting involved, either through our projects or hooking up with some of the organizations that are working so hard. This is the Longmont Museum goose. That's one of Stevie's hats. Stevie was from Knit Pearl at the Senior Center, a key part in that connection and relationship. They've done tons of knitting for us. So yarn bombing might be new to Longmont, but it's a real common form of media and communication in other parts of the world. And we're hoping that it can be a way to make a social statement here in Longmont, or just a way to improve or spice up a space, maybe make a little whimsy on a light post. This is at Blue Ribbon Farm. John and Ginny Sipes let us come out there and decorate this beauty.
Amen. Good job.
With support from the owner, Don Weekland, we yarn bombed the Flower Ben goose and had a lot of fun with that, and she's adorned with a beautiful floral hat, as you can see. We had a lot of fun at these bombings, and can only hope that the folks in Longmont that saw them enjoyed them as well. Our next yarn bombing was the Gooseinator, which this is shown in daylight, but actually when we bombed this goose, we did it with the cooperation of Josh and his staff at the Left Hand Brewery, and one of the staff actually climbed up on the roof, which was covered in ice, and adorned this goose with the hat and scarf. The people in these photos only represent a few of the hands that made the hats, mittens, and scarves for this project. The recipients of the donations was the Hope Center, Boulder County Homeless Center, Colorado Friendship, Christ Church International, and the Salud Clinic.
So to date, we've got 489 of our 1,000 hats that we're shooting for accomplished. Each hat has a ribbon on the inside that we had made and a space, as you can see, for the knitter to write a personal message of encouragement to the recipient. And we're looking forward to hitting 1,000.
So what's next for us for 2012? We have a lot of fun things planned, and we're looking forward to seeing how those ideas grow. There'll definitely be some yarn bombing, so wait and see for that. And we'll be gearing up for our next annual handmade items for the homeless in the fall. And thank you very much.
Now you only hope that eventually in Longmont they will do some carpet bombing. It's a World War II thing. That was fantastic. It really is amazing when you see what happens in this little burg of ours. It really gives you the sense of civic pride and the fact that we live here. And if you think of Longmont, no longer can we say Longmont. We think of Longmont now as a city that is here to push, not to be pushed. So we are here.